UN urges Myanmar to end vicious persecution and violent repression. A very good afternoon and welcome. I'm Adrian Sept and you're watching News on 2. The 72nd United Nations General Assembly kicked off New York on Tuesday with UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres urging the Myanmar government to end the vicious cycle of persecution, discrimination, radicalization and violent repression that has seen more than 400,000 Rohingya Muslims flee into neighboring Bangladesh. Guterres, a former head of the UN Refugee Agency, called for the world body and humanitarian agencies to be allowed access to Rakhine to offer aid.
I take note of State Councillor Aung San Suu Kyi's address today and their intention to implement the recommendations of the Advisory Committee on Rakhine State that was chaired by Kofi Annan within the shortest time possible. But let me emphasize again, the authorities in Myanmar must end the military operations, allow unhindered humanitarian access, and recognize the right of refugees to return in safety and dignity. And they must also address the grievances of the Rohingya, whose status has been left unresolved for far too long.
Guterres' emphasis on the Rohingya crisis came following Myanmar's de facto leader Aung San Suu Kyi's promise to allow some of the refugees sheltering in neighboring Bangladesh to return home and vowed to address human rights violation as she broke her silence on the country's conflict with minority Rohingyas. Suu Kyi had cancelled her trip to the UN General Assembly as the crisis in Rakhine State escalates. A spokesman for the presidential office in Myanmar said that Suu Kyi had called off her trip for two reasons: the current situation in Rakhine State and reports of possible terrorist attacks in the country. Less than a week ago, Guterres had said that the crisis involving the Rohingya community had become catastrophic. Meanwhile, speaking after attending the Organization of Islamic Cooperation Contact Group on Rohingya Muslim Minority, held in conjunction with the UN General Assembly, Foreign Minister Datuk Sri Anifah Aman said that the leaders of the OIC member countries would pressure Myanmar to respect Rohingya rights.
Despite our several efforts, through ASEAN during the meetings, and urge Myanmar to take appropriate actions, and also Malaysia's offer to assist them whatever way possible, and including delivery of the aid to the affected people, not just the Muslims but all the affected people. But Myanmar did not take us seriously. Okay. And then after what had happened recently, and the violence that is perpetrated by the security forces, I think is no longer acceptable and it is beyond ASEAN.
Datuk Sri Anifah is scheduled to deliver Malaysia's national statement at the general debate on September 22nd. Apart from the plight of the Rohingyas, the minister is also expected to highlight the question of Palestine, developments in the Korean Peninsula, elimination of nuclear weapons, global movement of moderates and UN reform initiatives. Now, more on the UN General Assembly and Rohingya issues in our foreign segment. Meanwhile, Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi says Malaysia has achieved three main successes as chair of the 10th ASEAN Ministerial Meeting on Transnational Crime since 2015, better known as AMMTC. According to Datuk Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid, the first achievement was the agreement reached by ASEAN member states to its proposal for the AMMTC conference to be held annually beginning this year. The second was the acceptance of Malaysia's proposal to establish the ASEAN Plan of Action in Cross-Border Crime Prevention 2016 to 2025.
Yang ketiga adalah kerana Malaysia telah mencadangkan supaya Mesyuarat khas Menteri-Menteri ASEAN mengenai kebangkitan radikalisasi dan keganasan melampau. Perkara ini telah menjadi suatu agenda antarabangsa yang diterima bukan sahaja oleh negara ASEAN tetapi oleh seluruh dunia.
The third achievement was for a de-radicalization program to be undertaken in addressing the issue of terrorism and violence. Touching on the 11th AMMTC meeting in Manila, Datuk Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid said that the country will continue to provide suggestions when needed. Upsound 2. Datuk Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said this yesterday in a press conference upon arrival in Manila, Philippines, to attend the 11th AMMTC and related meetings scheduled to begin today. A proposal has been made for the Education Act 1996, Act 550, to be amended to allow the registration of private Islamic education institutions, including private Tahfiz schools, to be subjected to the Act with the agreements of the state governments. Now, the proposal acts as a proactive measure to resolve issues related to Tahfiz schools, including its security, as these schools are under the jurisdiction of the state governments. The proposal was presented to the High-Level Committee or HLC meeting of the Tahfiz Schools Special Task Force, chaired by Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi in Putrajaya yesterday.
Dan kita mengambil keperhatian terhadap permasalahan ini, dan biarpun sekolah-sekolah agama ini dan MACC Tahfiz ini adalah di bawah bidang kuasa kerajaan negeri, di bawah Majlis Agama Islam dan Jabatan Agama Islam Negeri, tapi kerajaan pusat mengambil kepedulian, kerana kita tidak boleh melihat adanya ketidakpedulian oleh pengendali MACC Tahfiz ini yang menyebabkan kematian.
Datuk Sri Jamil Khair has been given the responsibility to engage with the state governments to discuss the proposal. It would later be submitted to the meeting of the National Council for Islamic Affairs, chaired by Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib Tun Razak, which will be attended by state government representatives before being tabled in the cabinet meeting. The Darul Quran Ittifaqiyah Religious School at Jalan Keramat Ujong in Kampung Datuk Keramat, which was razed by fire last week, killing 23 people, may begin operating again in November at its old location as soon as all standard operating procedures are complied with. Its principal, Mohamed Zahid Mahmud, said that the Federal Territory Islamic Religious Council will once again refer its application to authorities such as the Fire and Rescue Department as soon as it adheres to all the safety aspects of the building and equipments used. Amongst facilities to be improved is for the religious school to fix closed-circuit televisions or CCTVs and fire hydrants at its premises.
Belum buka lagi permohonan baru sebab kita dalam proses dalam kes ini pun belum selesai, tetapi ada di kalangan ibu bapa yang sudah bawa anak dan tunjuk dia punya surat beranak dan surat-surat lain untuk dimasukkan. Ada 2-3 orang, jadi saya kata nanti dulu, kita belum buka lagi. Jadi sebenarnya semangat mereka untuk meneruskan pengajian di Tahfiz ini amat membanggakan, alhamdulillah.
A meeting will be held with the school's management should it reopen in November. Around 50 to 60 students are expected to apply once it's given the go-ahead to start operation. 38,880 illegal immigrants have been deported back to their respective countries from the 1st of January to the 17th of September this year. According to Immigration Department Director General Datuk Sri Mustafa Ali, most of them were from Indonesia, Myanmar and Bangladesh. The immigrants were deported for various offences, including breaching visit pass terms and overstaying. Most of the immigrants arrested were staying in the Klang Valley area and working in the construction and services sectors. Datuk Sri Mustafa added, regarding an operation dubbed Ops Mega E-Card, 13,000 illegal immigrants and 312 employers have been arrested since July the 1st.
Daripada immigration itu, kita selesaikan siasatan, kita selesaikan kalau misalnya dibawa ke mahkamah, kalau ada hukuman-hukuman di mahkamah, mereka akan ke penjara ataupun dikenakan penalti ataupun compound. Yang lain itu memang pengusiran tetap akan dilakukan.
Currently, 312 prosecutions are being conducted against employers who failed to comply with the employment of foreign workers rules and regulations. Datuk Sri Mustafa was met after a dialogue and seminar on current issues of immigration and employment of foreign workers in the Kuala Lumpur Customs Complex in Kelana. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, or MACC, will seek the assistance of Interpol to track down 10 important witnesses to assist in the investigation into an alleged protection money racket for illegal gambling syndicates in Malacca. Its Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Zulkifli Ahmad said the witnesses were needed to facilitate investigations under the MACC Act 2009 and the Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act 2001. Tan Sri Zulkifli stressed that they were believed to have fled the country as soon as the information were published in local media in June of this year.
Sekarang ini kita nak mengenal pastilah. Kalau kita tak dapat mereka confirm berada di mana-mana, kita di negara mana, maka kita akan minta bantuan daripada Interpol.
Tan Sri Zulkifli said this at the Melaka Kembara Jelajah Anti-Rasuah 2017 campaign held in Bandar Hilir, Melaka. National Farmers Organisation, or NAFAS, will form the Putri Peladang Group with Johor as the pioneer state. If successful, the Putri Peladang concept will be expanded nationwide. NAFAS chairman Datuk Sri Saipul Bahari Suib said with the establishment of Putri Peladang, which is similar to Peladang Nita and Peladang Muda programs, they hope to attract more women, especially young women, to get involved in agriculture.
Kita akan wujudkan Putri Peladang supaya generasi muda hari ini terus berminat untuk masuk dalam industri asas tani. Ya, jadi kita nak galakkan mereka-mereka ni, golongan muda ni minat ke arah pertanian, yang mana kita nyatakan bahawa pertanian ini adalah satu perniagaan.
Datuk Sri Saipul Bahari said this after officiating the 10th annual general meeting of NAFAS in Labuan. At the event, NAFAS allocated 50,000 ringgit for the Labuan State Farmers Organisation, 20,000 ringgit for Peladang Nita Labuan, and 5,000 ringgit for Peladang Muda Labuan. Efforts will be taken by the Health Ministry to review the salary scale of medical personnel in government hospitals to prevent a brain drain within the country's public healthcare system. Its Deputy Minister, Datuk Sri Dr. Hilmi Yahya, said many specialist doctors and nurses were quitting their jobs at government hospitals after finding their salaries to be unattractive. He added currently around 2,100 specialists serving in government hospitals nationwide are enjoying a higher basic pay under the revised Grade 56 compared to the previous salary under Grade 54. Datuk Sri Dr. Hilmi said this to reporters after an official visit by the Yang di-Pertuan Negeri Pulau Pinang, Tun Haji Abdul Rahman Abbas, to the Kepala Batas Hospital in Kepala Batas, Pulau Pinang. Deputy Minister of Agriculture and Agro-Based Industry, Datuk Sri Tajuddin Abdul Rahman, says that in order to increase the income of farmers, the Agricultural Research and Development Institute of Malaysia, or MARDI, needs to conduct and produce more research studies. The move, he explains, is to increase the average income of entrepreneurs and farmers by up to 48,000 ringgit a year. According to Datuk Sri Tajuddin, to achieve a developed nation status, the monthly income targeted by the government is about 4,000 ringgit per month. But currently, the average income of farmers is only 1,500 ringgit a month.
Pihak MARDI, pihak penyelidik mempunyai peranan besar untuk maju membantu menjayakan kita punya perjuangan kita ini.
He was speaking at the Innovative Farming Awards event in Maeps, Serdang last night. And Mohamed Hairul Miran, Nur Liza Salman and Mohamed Suhaili Abdul Hamid got the national para bowling team campaign off to a good start when they won 3 gold medals at the Sunway Mega Lanes yesterday. Take a look. Mohamed Hairul blew away his rivals in the TPB1 full blindness singles mixed category by posting a 6-game total of 919 to win by 202 pins from second place Thailand's V Tangpulpul. Another Thai, Krisada Kitongtawi, received bronze with a 686. Nur Liza then added a second by claiming a 1-2 finish with Ruzila Mustafa in the TPP8 women's singles physical impairment category. Nur Liza amassed a total of 824 pins to finish ahead of Ruzila 804 and Rohayati of Indonesia 679. Mohamed Suhaili then atoned for the disappointment of the 2 days ago when he clinched gold in the mixed individual half-blind category, TPB2, with a score of 1,268 pinfalls. Brunei's Kamarul Arifin Abdul Ghaffar won silver, while 2015 champion Chu Kam Chan managed only the bronze medal. Malaysia also won 2 silver through Muhammad Rizal Hassan, TPB3 singles mixed, and Muhammad Azrin Rahim, TPB singles mixed. And that concludes this afternoon's edition of News on 2. In our top story, President Trump threatens to totally destroy North Korea. Join us again at 7 tonight for more updates. Until then, I'm Adrian Sept. Thanks for watching. Have a pleasant afternoon.